Previously on the Reckless Rollers Pokemix campaign. Just kidding. It's a flashback episode, dudes.
Hey guys, welcome to the Reckless Rollers podcast. I'm Mars, and I play as Paxon.
I'm Scott, and I play as pretty much every NPC.
He's also the DM.
Yeah,
I'm
that too.
I use she, her pronouns, and I play as Katri.
Alright, and we currently don't have Argo with us. He's got stuff going on. Yeah, so we're gonna start off the next morning from, well, maybe we should do a little bit of the previously on stuff, even though we're adding that bit at the beginning of the episodes now.
I have a concept. So instead of making this like chronologically happen, like the episode chronologically taking place, like in terms of like recording session, obviously it takes place after the last one. But here's a concept: we save this, and then we don't do previously on, and these are like standalone, quote unquote, because they're focused on flashbacks. So we just don't do anything like in the actual timeline of the episodes. That way we can just do flashbacks, and then we can put these up if we ever can't record a session for a week.
Oh, I was just gonna have like the whole thing happen while you guys are walking between where you stopped last and Olivine, so that we just pick up in Olivine next session.
Yeah.
Okay.
That way we can skip the 17 encounters that I could have possibly thrown in there and have much less dice rolling.
I can't believe the DM doesn't like dice rolling.
It's math. We know how I feel about math.
That's pretty valid, but addition and multiplication is fun.
It's math.
Ironically.
Math
Alright, so,
is math.
So this is going to take place basically the morning after the first trainer battle.
Nice. My first trainer battle, and then y'all's Wannabe and Paxon were fighting Beedrills and Weedle.
Yeah.
Yeah, a Beedrill and a bunch of Weedles.
Two of you were fighting a boss and a bunch of mooks, and the other one was fighting a trainer.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm realizing, since that trainer was someone who apparently knew Katri, does that mean the Hoot Hoot's gonna be a reoccurring character?
Wait, they didn't know me.
They knew something about you, yeah.
They just knew that I was from the Blackthorn.
Yeah. They know a little bit about you, like they might have heard about you from Lance. Alright, so we're gonna open this up with a shot of Paxon opening the flaps of his tent and coming out, and it's very early morning. Like, the sun is just barely starting to rise.
The light, it burns.
And Katri, are you still sleeping, or are you already awake and trying to do anything?
I am sleeping.
Alright.
I be snoozing.
So, Paxon, I'm not going to have you roll for this because it's pretty obvious. You see Wannabe's tent is not there. And in place of where the tent was is a note.
My. Well, I am going to go and read that note.
The note says, ran off to do some errands and some early morning training. I'll meet you guys in Olivine. I'm not using the old man voice.
I mean, it's a note. You don't have to.
So, Paxon, the morning is yours. What do you do?
Alright, well, first I'm going to have some anxiety because the only, adult around here just abandoned us. and now I'm alone with a stranger.
I mean, Wannabe was also a stranger, okay?
Yeah, but at least I was given like good word about him. So I'm gonna like worry for a bit and maybe uh bring out my Pokemon for comfort.
All right, so you let out your 3 Pokemon. Well, I assume Issa was already out.
Yeah.
So the uh, you let out Ali and dang it,
Ileana.
Ileana. Yeah, you let out Ali and Ileana, and basically Ali comes out on basically rocking back and forth on his back, and Ileana is just laying down on his stomach. And they
Those
come out of the
two
Pokeballs
are so
just
cute
like
together.
that. Ileana looks like she's still sleeping.
Mm.
And Issa is kind of rushing to the edge of the road, hopping up on the railing, and just staring out into the sea.
I wonder, do I have any food with me?
You got plenty. Well, maybe.
Alright, I'm gonna take out some nice Pokenummies and share with them.
Alright, you open your bag to take out the Pokenummies, and you notice that a lot of the Bouffalon jerky is missing. And
Oh no.
Issa's looking pretty full.
Bruh.
Issa, did you do this? Bitch!
This like character trait is steals food.
And you do find the Pokemon treats, and you do find the collapsible bowls that you had from home. So I assume you pour the food in the bowls, and
Yeah.
alright. So Ileana's still kind of just laying there, and Ollie's just rocking back and forth, trying to find a way to move towards the food without waking up the baby. And Issa is still very calmly staring at the sunrise.
I'm gonna, while they're eating, I'll walk over to Issa, and I'll ask her, what you looking at? Are you thinking of something?
She's staring at the Whirl Islands.
Oh. Are you thinking about something that happened back then?
Are you looking out there now too?
Yeah.
Alright, as you and Issa look out to the Whirl Islands, you start to remember the voice of your father. And we'll say the screen goes white. How do I phrase this? What would Paxon's favorite memory of his father?
I'd say it'd be the times where they went exploring together, trying to see new things.
So we'll say it's, 2 years before?
Yeah, I'd say about 2 years ago.
Alright. So 14-year-old Paxon and his father, Peter, are getting their boat set up. And at this point, you don't have Issa.
Yeah, I'm all by myself.
Now, do me a favor and describe Peter.
I'd say he was very tall, had slightly pudgy, but not fat, completely fat, just like kind of a dad bod. And he had a very like semi-sailor outfit. It was sort of a casual sailor's outfit.
So he kind of looked like the sprites for the Pokemon sailors.
Kinda.
Actually, something I never asked. What color is Paxton's hair? Or is that a mystery?
We'll leave that to interpretation for now.
Alright, so
It's green.
Paxton, do you have the hoodie at this point, or are you wearing a different outfit?
I think I'd still have the hoodie.
Alright, so we'll
It's
say you have
something.
a few copies of this hoodie, and there's at least 2 or 3 of them shoved in your bag at present day, but the one you have is a little worn,
Yeah.
a couple tears in it, and you're wearing the hoodie. It's early morning, you're by the coast, it's gonna be a little chilly, and your dad's wearing a beanie over his little sailor outfit. Well, I say little, but it's probably extra large. And I would think that your dad would have a Pokemon. What Pokemon would you say your dad has?
I think my dad would have had.
Like, part of me is screaming Poliwhirl.
Yeah, probably like a Poliwhirl or a Poliwrath.
Alright, we'll say he's got a Poliwhirl and he's been saving up to buy a King's Rock.
Ooh.
And how about we'll say he finally managed to get enough money to buy a King's Rock. But it's in Olivine now.
Yeah.
And that's what you guys are taking your trip to do.
Okay.
Alright, so the two of you finally get the boat set up with the help of Poliwhirl. And you set out to the ocean. And you've taken this trip multiple times. So many times. You actually noticed probably 2 or 3 trips before that there was, let's say there's a sign by one of the old Whirl Islands saying, under construction, Whirl Island's water slides.
Ooh. Well, that sounds fun.
Oh, yeah, it does. Wait, is that how your dad sounds? I don't know.
Well, we haven't determined that yet.
Give him
So
Mr.
he-
Krabs' voice.
I don't know if.
Oi, Paxon, me boy.
Paxon boy me Bob.
Paxon, boy, me Bob.
I don't know why.
We're going to the water slide someday.
As soon as you started describing him, I don't know why, but a Mr. Krabs voice popped into my head. Pax boy
He's
me
a
son.
sailor that sounds like a pirate.
Son boy me Bob. It's all about the money.
I don't know if I have the heart to make your dad sound like a pirate.
Do you want me to voice my own dad for you?
No. Just let me collect myself for a second.
I'll send you my energy.
Yeah, me boy. Let's keep an eye out for this water park.
I love it.
We'll save up some money for this park's grand opening, and
Ooh,
I'll make sure to
I'd love
take
to
you
go.
and I'll take you and Mom down there one day.
Oh, that sounds fun. I'd love to.
But first, let's go get my boy. What would Poliwrath's name? I don't want to go for the obvious.
What's the
I was gonna say Paul. I would say Polly, but if we're going for a pirate aesthetic, he'd also have a chatot named. He has a chatot named Polly now too.
But Polly is not here. So the Poliwhirl, it's gonna be a Politoad.
I'll name him
Parker.
Skipper.
So I like that. Skipper's a good name.
Yeah, Skipper.
Yeah. So, first off, we're going to get Skipper here the rock that he deserves. We need to have this boy hopping so he can be a true sailor.
Nice.
And you guys talk about this this trip to the water park for a good amount of time for this trip. Now you guys have taken this trip so many times. You know these waters like the back of your hand. You know all 4 of the Whirl Islands like the back of your hand. But Peter, he notices something. He sees a landmass between 2 of the islands. And he says, "That's odd.
What is it?
Paxon, how about we take a little detour?"
Okay.
Alright, Skipper. Turn hard to port. We're going to land.
Poliwhirl.
And the 3 of you soon make land on what appears to be a new island. An uncharted island smack dab in the middle of where the other 4 Whirl Islands.
Whoa.
And I'd say on this island is a forest. Or at least a big old cluster of trees that looks like it could be. And it's surrounding the entire island.
Well, I don't remember seeing this before, Dad. What's this?
Neither do I, my boy. Let's take a look. And the 2 of you walk into the forest. It seems to be fairly unpopulated. And it doesn't take you too long before you get to the center. And in the center you see what looks like a shrine. A shrine with 3 statues. And the statues all look like the beasts of legend.
Whoa.
Now that's a sight to see, my boy.
What are they?
Well, that one there, I hear tell it's been known as Entei, the big old fiery boy. The one in the one to its left is Reiku, controlled storms. The one on Entei's right is that's Suicune. Most would say that it's the Pokemon embodiment of northern winds. I say it's a load of hogwash.
Hogwash?
Well, they sure are pretty good statues.
Yeah, it makes me curious. Who built these? Where did this island come from? Oh well, let's chart this and head on our way.
Okay. Yeah, I hope you weren't trespassing.
Oh, it should be fine. We didn't see any homes or domiciles here. Or any Pokemon, for that matter. And right then, you hear a screech.
I don't know what kind of screech you wanted.
That works.
Perfect.
That works perfect. And a Fearow comes swooping down.
What's perfect? I was envisioning a Fearow.
Yeah, you have to be the Fearow now.
So, this Fearow comes swooping down and takes out Skipper in one blow.
Skipper!
And he seems to be moving, craning its neck around.
Fearow.
and its eyes lock on you, Paxon.
Oh no.
And this Firo starts swooping down towards you. And right before it hits, you hear, "Hold on, me boy!" And your dad, Peter, slams right into this Firo.
Dad.
And the Firo bounces back and slashes at Peter's chin. And you see 3 large gashes on the side of his face.
Dad, you okay?
And it appears a storm is coming. You see a cloud coming from the clearing overhead. And a bolt of lightning comes down and hits the Firo. And out of the corner of your eye, Paxon, you see a small yellow mouse.
Huh?
And it's eyeing this Firo angrily.
Was that you?
The mouse makes no noise. The mouse makes no noise. It's not focusing on you. It's focusing on the bird. And it
we still got action going on.
and it charges. And it goes for a fake out. And the Firo falls to the ground flinched. And then this small mouse, it seems that the storm cloud is following it. And it calls out, "Pichu!" And right as it calls it out, it lets out a little thunder shock. And it gets combined with a thunderbolt that comes from the heavens. And it takes this Firo, pushes it into the ground. Further.
Just hurt my throat at that point.
And as the smoke clears, you see basically what looks like a hole in the ground in between these 3 statues. And a very blackened Firo starts flapping away, defeated.
Firo!
And during all of this, Paxon, you had a ball in your hoodie. You wanted to try and make a friend on this trip. And
Oh yeah, my ball.
you specifically made a friend ball. And it falls out of your hoodie. You're on the ground sitting. And this Pichu thinks it's a berry. It walks up to this friend ball. And it looks at it curiously. Are you going to do anything?
I'm pretty shocked after all the things that happened. Paxton is probably like tearing up a bit after seeing like what happened to his dad in the Poliwhirl. He wipes away at his eyes for a bit, and then he looks over to the Pichu and his ball.
And the Pichu
Um,
picks up the ball, tries to bite it, and its mouth hits the button. And it gets sucked into the ball. And the ball shakes once and clicks. And you hear from right behind you, "Well, that wasn't what I expected. But hey, looks like you made a friend. We now have another shipmate."
yeah, It looks like.
Oh, don't worry about this. I'll be fine. And he reaches in his pack and pulls out some gauze and some tape and cleans up his wound. It'll leave a nice little scar. But Skipper here, we need to get him healed up. And as he says that, you could swear you see a little bit of a gleam coming from one of the statues. It looks like it's coming from the eye of the Suicune. And a little gem falls out, and it lands directly on Skipper. It's a revive.
Oh.
How convenient.
Now that's a miracle.
I mean, I was going to make it a King's Rock, but I figured a revive would be more fitting for, eye holes.
Mm-hmm.
You telling me you don't keep crowns inside of your eyes?
No, I keep them in my
Yeah,
mouth.
that goes in your mouth, silly.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I have one made of
Crowns?
solid gold.
Hardy har har.
Gar. Peter.
Peter.
And the Poliwhirl opens its eyes. Shakes its entire body, which is also its head. Kips up, dusts itself off, and walks to Peter's side. And then your father says, I would say that's enough adventure for one day. We do have a trip to make. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay, Dad.
And the now 4 of you make your way back to the ship. Well, I say ship. It's a little, like, fishing boat that's got a sail attached to it. And within a couple hours, you make it down to Olivine. Now, this is Olivine in the future. So, how would you say it's different compared to how it is in the game?
I haven't really had much thought about it.
Well, how about a flyer talking about a festival going on in the middle of the town? And the town is a little bit more expanded. The buildings are a little bit taller. It doesn't look so much like a fishing hamlet like it used to. The only mainstay that it had was the gym and the lighthouse. But now there's we'll say there's a large park at the side of the town, and there's a road next to that park, saying that the path is under construction. Like, they're building the path between Cyanwood and Olivine, and they managed to finish it 2 years after that.
Okay.
The 2 of you pull up at the docks, and Peter says, let's make our way to the Pokemon Center. Heal our Pokemon up. And you guys walk like 3 feet and you're in front of the Pokemon. Which is also the Pokemart, which is run by Carl.
Wow, that's very convenient.
Yar. Times were different a few years back. But, let's go say hi to my boy Carl. And the 2 of you walk in, Pokemon in tow, and you hear, ahoy! Welcome to Carl Mart. How can I help you? And you see he's not really a middle-aged, looks to be in his late 20s though. He's wearing an obviously fake eye patch. And he's got a couple arm tattoos. And he's saying, well, Peter, it's nice to see you. How can I help you? Peter says, "Well, me boy, I need to get Skipper here all healed up. And also, I finally got that money for that King's Rock." Carl nods, takes the Pokeball for Skipper, heals up, and while Skipper's being healed, he fishes out a small rock that looks like a crown. He says, "Well, here you go. I'll take the money for it now. It'll be less than we agreed upon. Maybe you can take the boy over to the water park when it opens." Or that sounds like a grand idea. And then he hands back Skipper. Peter takes Skipper out of the Pokeball, hands him the crown, says, kind of sarcastically, "Well, here you go," and does a big show of kneeling in front of Skipper the Poliwhirl. And as Skipper grabs it, places it on his head, he starts to glow. It doesn't take as long as you thought it would. Basically, he glows, changes color, changes shape a bit, and before you stands a large green Kermit-looking frog with a big ol' swirl pattern and one hair on top of its head. He claps his hands and says, "Politoed."
Politoed.
Oh, I was actually just saying Politoed. I'm trying to give him like a sing-songy type of voice.
Oh.
Make it sound like he sings sea shanties. And Peter nods happily at the Politoed. Says, "Well, Skipper, looks like we got one errand out of the way. Let's get another one taken care of." And he turns to you, Paxon, and says, "You know, you made me real proud today. You showed a lot of courage. And you even made a friend. Go tell Carl something that you want, and I'll pay for it."
Paxon sort of smiles and says, "Thank you, Dad."
"Oh, anytime, my boy."
Alright, I'll go over to Carl and talk to him.
"Well, little one, what can I get you?"
What do they sell here at Carl Mart?
"Well, we sell all sorts of things. I see you got a new Pokemon. How would you like to get a little scarf to go with it?"
Oh, you have scarves?
"Oh, yeah, we have all sorts of little outfits for some people like dressing them up. Not I, but I don't judge."
Oh. Yeah, I think a scarf would be nice. Alright, I think Paxton's go look at the scarves, and in the middle of him searching to try and pick one out, Issa sort of made her own escape outside the ball already.
Yeah, I feel like that's how the whole habit begins.
Mm-hmm.
We'll say maybe like when you were making the friend ball, one of the latches for it was kind of it didn't work all the way.
Yeah, I was still testing out my balls, and this one was probably a little faulty.
Yeah, but it still managed to catch a Pokemon. It just can't keep it in there if it doesn't
Yeah.
want to be in there. So Pichu hops out of the Pokeball.
Pichu!
And it looks at the scarves. Looks at Carl. Looks at the food. Then it turns back to you.
Well, hi, little one. How'd you get out of there? Bitchy!
And at that moment, you know exactly which scarf, which object, whatever you wanted to get for the Pichu.
Yeah, I think she would have like looked at the blue one a lot and probably pointed at it.
Yeah, that works. And Carl grabs that one for you and says, "You know what? You're a new trainer. This is free of charge."
Oh, thank you, Carl.
"Oh, it's no problem. I know that soon I'll be seeing you quite often." And we'll say at that moment, that's the last time you see Carl for a while. Well, that particular one.
Yeah, it's gonna be quite a while.
And the two, four of you, make it back quite easily. You make it back home to your mother, Petra, and your father is staring out the window that night. Like there's something that he just can't seem to figure out. And he snaps his fingers and says, "That's it. I know what it is." And he runs off. And it's raining. And he hops into the boat.
Oh.
And it starts raining harder. And harder. And he's heading out. It seems like he's heading back to that island that you went to. And then we come back to present day. And you're staring at that same island. And that island is where those lights seem to be coming from. Part of you knew that, but you didn't really want to think too hard on it.
Yeah. I think after all this time contemplating, Paxon's probably gonna look back over to Issa and tell her, well, we can't always change the past, but we can enjoy the present. Come on, buddy.
And we'll say at this point, Katri comes out of the tent.
Morning, Paxon.
Hi.
I decided to gather my bearings because, it's still in the middle of the campsite or whatever.
Yeah, so Katri, it doesn't take you too long to notice the tent is gone too, and the note still reads the same. It's just back on the ground where Paxon picked it up.
That Wannabe left us for a while.
You know what? That's kind of cool. We finally get to adventure properly. No adults around to tell us what to do.
But we're all alone and the forest is scary.
Oh, come on, Paxton. This is the dream.
I don't know.
You have to admit it's kind of exciting.
And at this point, are you guys packing up your tents? Or are you just talking?
We're just chatting, I think, right now.
Alright.
Maybe.
Also, Katri is going to pick up and read the note from...
Okay. So you read it. It says the same exact thing that it said for, when Paxton read it. I already forgot what it said.
Yeah, it's okay. You don't have to literally just cut in like the same thing again.
Yeah.
You just replay the same recording bit.
Yeah, easy peasy. That's showbiz, baby.
No, it says nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Alright, well, if he's already headed to Olivine, we'll probably start packing up and head there ourselves, Paxton.
Okay.
And as you guys are packing up, the camera's going to zoom out. And that's where we're going to end this one.
Epic.
Alright.
Heyo, Scott here. Thank you for listening. We had a blast recording these flashback style episodes, and hopefully you guys all enjoyed hearing it. With that said, I want to drop some thanks to the respective creators of Pokemon and the Pokemon Tabletop United system. We're not affiliated with them, just, a bunch of fans playing games. And again, thanks to all of you for supporting us episode by episode. And we'll see you in the next one.
Thanks, Mars.
Whenever you're ready, Mars.
Oh, we were waiting for me now? Okay.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
interviewing. You were like, I'll do it. And then you didn't do it. Why are we so bad at intros?
We'll get the hang of
Alright.
it eventually.
Here we go. Here we go. Oh, here we go.
And we currently don't have Argo with us.
We killed him.
He's got stuff.
He's got a
going
cardiac
on.
arrest.
Yeah,
we-
we'll say that.
We killed Argo. And thus Wannabe is in cardiac arrest. So the actual podcast has been canceled. And this is the spin-off series.
Yeah, this is now Paxon and Katri living together as roommates, having
Save the
wacky
world.
sitcom shenanigans.
Hold on. I never agreed to your name being higher than mine. Hold on.
This is now PK
It's
Fire.
the PK show.
PK Fire!
The tagline is where things get heated.